What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's an absolutely beautiful day here in Findlay, Ohio, and I'm hanging out in the beer shed, getting ready to check out a new beer. Well, maybe not a new beer. I've had Natural Light over the years, but I've never done a review on it, and I can't say I've had it in probably a considerable amount of time. Now, as this is a Wednesday, I'm going to do this as a WTF Wednesday review. For those of you who may be new to the channel, WTF Wednesday is a one day a week when I showcase a beer I normally wouldn't. So sometimes that means I do stuff from the big boys like Bud Miller and Coors. Sometimes I do interesting offerings from smaller breweries. And more recently, I've been trying to get some international flair on by getting my passport stamps and trying them international beers. Now, this one here falls into the first category. So this is a macro beer, and this is made by Anheuser-Busch out of St. Louis, Missouri. And this is Natural Light. And this is a 25-ounce can. I think I picked this up for, it was under $2. It was over at the Meijer grocery store. It might have been like $1.50 or $1.89 or something like that. It was on sale, so I figured I would give it a shot. Now, full disclosure, this is a beer I've had many times over the years. If you've gone to college in America, or I guess not even if you went to school, but this is a popular college beer or popular beer for younger folks that maybe don't have a ton of money. So I've drank my share of Natty Light and Natty Ice when I was a much younger man. Now, as I get older, kind of don't drink it as much. But I will say this, Natty Light, I don't remember it being offensive. I can't say that I remember liking it, but it wasn't like gross. There were some of those that were kind of nasty, like Milwaukee's Best. I always hated that. When I was in college, that was probably the cheapest kegs you could get. We used to get Yingling because they were slightly more expensive, but way better. But I remember hating that, Schlitz, those kind of things I wasn't a fan of. This was just kind of there. So it'd be interesting to give it a revisit and see what I think about it. So it's 4.2% ABV, so very light. And I'm just doing this out of a big jam jar. I didn't think it would be appropriate to drink this out of a fancy glass, right? This seems par for the course. Honestly, it even feels weird drinking Natty Light out of a glass. Usually I think I've just drank this out of a can. Usually late at night, if you're at a college party and all the other beer's going, you got to run to the shop late, they'll have this or Schlitz or trash beer, and you usually buy these. So, 4.2% ABV. Ratings-wise, this thing does terribly. 2.16 on Untappd, 1.77 on Beer Advocate, with a 45 awful rating. Now, first things first, I guess I'll go in for the nose. The nose is just kind of like adjunct. To me, it smells like rice. What does it say? This was made, I think I saw somewhere it said hops, malt, and corn. Maybe it's the corn. It's definitely adjuncty smelling, which is just kind of like lightly sweet, but it also has like a weird, I don't know if it's like is that a musty smell? There's something else going on in there that's like slightly not appealing. It's not gross. It's not like you smell it and think like, oh God, throw it out. You know, the beer is bad. But you smell it and you're just like, I don't know. Yeah, is what it is. It's probably more than anyone has ever sniffed a Natural Light in their life. So, again, pretty clear. This is very light. Straw, maybe like a 2 or something. Yeah, maybe a 2. Fair amount of carbonation. Really fine bubbles, almost like champagne bubbles. Ton of them, honestly. They're going nuts. You can see through it for the most part. If I hold this up, I can see outside. You know, we had about maybe a finger's worth of thin white head that's since dissipated. Head looks kind of silky. It doesn't look craggy or thick, just like kind of silky smooth. But let's give it a shot. Cheers. This is like flashbacks to the 90s or something. Body, light. There's a surprise, right? Natural Light. Not only light, I mean, it's watery. As of the beer itself, I mean, I could probably use that same descriptor. It's just there. This is kind of like, I don't know, beer-flavored water. You know what I mean? I mean, and I know that it's 4.2%. It's supposed to be sessionable beer, relatively cheap, so you're probably targeting either folks that aren't into craft beer or maybe people that just don't have a lot of money, like students or younger folks, and this would fit the bill. Now, as to the taste, what do you get out of it? Not a whole hell of a lot, to be honest. You get the ghost of malt, the ghost of hops, and that's about it. Like, it's like a slight sweetness to it. You get the weird adjuncty corn thing. Now, I will say this. It's not over-the-top offensive, the adjuncty bit. It's just kind of there. As to hops, maybe you get a slight bitterness at the end. But the weird thing about this is there's a strange lingering, I don't even know if we call it a bitterness. It's just like it's an odd taste. It almost tastes like metallic-y or something. It just tastes light, slightly sweet, a little bit of metallic-iness, and that's about it. Is it a good beer? No, certainly not. Is it the worst beer I've ever had? It depends on how you view that. Doesn't have much flavor. Doesn't deliver a whole hell of a lot. But that being said, it's not like, oh my God, you drink it and spit it out because it's terrible. It's just, you know when your parents say they're disappointed in you, right? And you think like that hurts more than them just calling you a piece of shit or something. That's how I feel about this beer. To demean it and say that it's terrible is punching down, like obviously it is. It was $1.50 and 25 ounces of kind of junk. But when I taste it, I'm just like, I'm disappointed. Like, who brewed this, went through this whole process and was like, yes, that's the recipe, right? Let's stick with this. The other thing I start to wonder is, what were the other recipes before they got to this winner? What must the other ones have been like? So, you know, again, if natural light is your thing, I'm not knocking your hustle, man. I understand price point is important, or some people don't like big, robust flavors, and maybe you're new to craft beers, maybe you're new to beer in general, and this is a way to ease in. So, you know, it's all right in that regard. But if you had to ask me would I want another one, the answer would be no. You know, even if you're going for cheap beers, there are a lot of better cheap beers that you can drink than Natty Light. Now, again, it's not a drain pour terrible, but it's not something that I would drink again. So for me, it's a thumbs down. I wouldn't be having another one. You know, it is what it is. I know this is kind of an iconic beer. It's just doesn't do a whole heck of a lot. So, is what it is. Hopefully you liked the video. If you did give me a thumbs up, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. And as always, you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Did you drink Natty Light when you were in high school or college? Or maybe you still drink Natty Light. If you do, let me know what you think about it, man. And the other thing I'd like to know is, what is appealing about it? I mean, I understand the price point would be very big for some people, or maybe some folks just like a lighter beer at a low ABV may be appealing. Or maybe it's just that it's easily available. You can buy this at Walmart or gas stations or anywhere. So if you like Natty Light, let me know what you think about it, man. Why do you dig it? What makes this stand out from the other cheap beers that are in the same category? Hey, till next time. Cheers.